Hello and welcome to yoga with me, Antonia. We're going to start this practice seated. So get comfortable whether your legs are crossed or you sit on your shins, or maybe even having your legs out in front of you. But just sit so you can have a nice long spine. You might want to pop a pillow under your bum. That'll just elevate your hips a little bit. It might be a little bit more comfortable into your hips and through your spine if you sit on a pillow. But just gently close through your eyes and place your hands either on your lap or on your thighs, palms up or palms down. It's entirely your preference. And starting to take a few breaths through the nose. Whilst you're here, just drop your left ear down to your left shoulder. Keep your eyes closed. Reaching your right ear up towards the ceiling. Just feeling that stretch through the side of the neck. And then drop the chin towards the chest, coming into like a half circle towards the other side. So now your right ear is towards the right shoulder, left ear up towards the ceiling. And then again, drop your chin towards your chest, bringing your left ear to your left shoulder. And maybe you want to take your right hand and just walk the fingertips away towards the side of you, feeling that stretch increase down your neck. And then relax your left shoulder away from the ear. Dropping your chin towards the chest, bringing the left hand back onto your lap, onto your thigh, taking your right ear towards your right shoulder, and maybe walking your left hand out towards the side, feeling an increase into the stretch down the left side of your neck. Allow the right shoulder to relax. And bringing the chin back down to the chest. Keep the chin towards the chest. Just feeling a little stretch down the back of the neck. And maybe you'd like to increase this stretch a little bit more by placing the hands on top of the back of the head, maybe interlace the fingers. Just allowing a little bit of pressure. If it's too much, just release that. Bringing your hands back down onto the mat or onto your lap. And maybe here you start to round through your spine a little bit. So rounding through the back. Caving through your chest. Bringing the stretch more into the back. And then inhale, coming back up to centre, allowing the hands back down onto your lap. And if you've got your legs crossed, place them on your knees. We're going to draw the chest forward, lift the chin towards the sky, squeeze your shoulder blades together. And then as you exhale, round through the spine and just pull a little bit onto your knees as you do this. If you're kneeling up, you can do it this way. Also, really rounding through the spine, pushing out through the whole of your back, all the way from the lower, middle and upper back, really rounding through. Inhale, draw the chest forward. Exhale, round through the spine. So if you have a yoga practice already, you might notice this as cat-cows, but rather than doing it on our hands and knees, we're just doing it seated instead. Do a few more of these with your own breath. Inhaling one way, exhaling the other. And then start to bring a few circles into your back into your upper body. So puffing the chest forward, bringing it round, moving into the sides of your body as well as the front and back. So keep circling one way. And again, you can do this kneeling if you are kneeling. It's a little bit more tricky, but it is possible. And then we're going to circle the other way. Ooh. Really getting into all parts of your back. Lovely. And then coming on to hands and knees into a tabletop. You're going to tuck the toes underneath you and push your seat up and back into a downward facing dog. And straight away you can start to just walk through one foot and the other. Giving your hips a little wiggle in this pose. Relax through the back of the neck. Ooh. Should feel quite good. If not, really push down through your hands, grounding your knuckles into the mat. Relax through your neck. Then bend your knees and bring the shins onto the mat. Toes together. Knees as wide apart as you like, and bring your chest, maybe your forehead, down onto the mat. So this is your child's pose, or balasana. Taking a few breaths here. On your next inhale, coming up to all fours into your tabletop. Tuck the toes and push your seat up and back into downward facing dog. Take a big breath in here and a big breath out. Bend through your knees, look towards your hands. You're going to take lots of little steps all the way up to the top of the mat. Hang heavy in your forward fold and have your feet about hip distance apart. Relax through your back, relax through your neck. You can have a good old bend in your knees here. They don't need to be completely straight. If they are, that's fine. But really relax through your back, through your neck. On an inhale, we're going to find a halfway lift. So we're finding length through the spine, draw the chest forward, squeeze the shoulder blades together, finding length all the way from the crown of the head out to the tailbone. So we're coming to more of a flat back. You may need to draw your fingers up from the floor, up to your shins, maybe even up to your thighs. Just try to encourage a flat back. Your legs can be straight, but if you do need to have a bend in them, you can do. Another big breath in. And then exhale, feeling the length through your hamstrings, maybe even into your calves. On an inhale, we're slowly going to start to roll all the way up and sweep your hands up towards the ceiling as you stand tall. And then as you exhale, rolling all the way back down into your forward fold before you inhale into your halfway lift, length through your spine. And then exhale, find again your forward fold. So a little half sun salutation. We'll do that again. Inhale, slowly start to rise. Squeeze through your glutes. Lovely. And then inhale as you get to the top, reach your fingers up. Exhale, forward fold. All the way down into your forward fold. Inhale, reach your chest forward. Fingers up your shins if you need to. Flat back. And then exhale, we're going to find our downward facing dog. On an inhale, come into a plank position, so hands under your shins, just draw your chest forward, drive back through your heels, so now we're in a nice long line all the way from the crown of the head out towards our heels. And then exhale, push back into your downward facing dog. Take a big breath in. And a big breath out. Next, inhale, float your chest forward again, find your plank. Nice strong core as we stay in our plank for a breath or two. Drawing down through the hands, but really pushing up through the shoulders. Draw back through the heels, tummy nice and tight, abdominals squeezed, glutes squeeze, and then push back to downward facing dog. That's such an active pose. You might find yourself starting to shake a little bit into that pose. So we are going to do it again for a few breaths. If it gets too much, just place your knees down onto the mat. You can still do it, finding length all the way from the crown of your head towards your glutes if your knees are down onto the mat. And then inhale, find your plank. Lovely. So again, if you need to place your knees down on to the mat, you can do. You can untuck your toes if you like. But if you're in full plank, we're going to stay here for another 2 breaths. Ooh, feeling the strength throughout the whole of your body, down your arms, all the way down your body, especially into your abdominals. And then exhale, push back into downward facing dog. Ooh, bend your knees, bring your knees down, shins down onto the mat, and sit your bum back into child's pose. Big breath in and big breath out. Staying in your child's pose, just walking your right hand out towards the right side. Bring your left hand on top of it and sit your hips back towards the left hand corner, bottom left hand corner of your mat. Feeling a nice big stretch down the left side of your body. And then coming back to centre, you're going to walk your hands out to the right side. To the left side, sorry. Bringing your right hand on top of your left. Sitting your hips back to the right, bottom right hand corner of your mat. Ooh, should feel quite good. Coming back to centre. Finding your tabletop. And here you're just going to turn your hands so your fingers are pointing back towards your knees. Tuck your toes underneath and then just sit your bum back as much as you need to start to feel a stretch into your forearms here, maybe even into your wrists. And coming back up, bringing your hand back to normal. This time you're just going to bring your fingers pointing towards your knees again, but this time coming onto the back of the hand instead. Just do one hand at a time in this position. Again, you can tuck your toes and then maybe sit your hips back towards your heels. You might be able to go quite far. You might just move a centimetre or 2. Ooh, place that hand back down on the mat and swap hands. So fingers back towards your knees, you're on the back of the hand. And again, you can sit your hips back a little bit if you like. Lovely. And then coming to sit on your shins, just bring your hands into a prayer position. And then here you're just going to push your hands together as if they're magnets. Push them so much you'll start to feel this maybe across your shoulders, maybe even into your chest, especially into your hands. Don't know if you can see my arms are starting to shake because I'm pushing so much. Lovely. And then release that, give them a shake. Ooh. Bring your hands onto your lap, roll your shoulders back. Taking a few breaths here. Just feeling the energy, maybe the tingling sensation into your hands. Lovely. Blinking the eyes open and take your right palm of your hand facing towards the front with the fingers pointing down, heel of the hand driving forwards. And without taking hold of the hand with your other hand, you're just going to imagine your fingers drawing back towards your face as you drive that heel of the hand forward, and you'll start to feel that stretch. Whew. And then maybe here you do want to take hold of the fingers, pulling the fingers back towards the body. I thought my microphone wasn't on then. I would have had to have recorded this all again, but it is on. It's all good. Oh, feeling that stretch. Lovely. We're going to do that on the other hand. So just allow the right hand to just fall away for a moment and then drive the heel of the left hand forward as you pull the fingers back towards your body. You'll already start to feel sensations, maybe even into the fingers, into the wrist, into the forearm. It's quite active. Allow your own strength to do this before taking the other hand, and maybe you want to apply a little bit of pressure into the fingers. Keep driving the heel of that hand forward. Lovely. Take your hands beside you and just give them a shake. Ooh, it's a good arm and hand was that one, isn't it? Coming back to your tabletop, tucking the toes, pushing your seat up and back into downward facing dog. Big breath in. Big breath out. Bend your knees, look towards your hands. You're going to make your way to the top of the mat, hanging heavy in your forward fold. Inhale, find your flat back. Exhale, as you place your hands towards the mat, you're going to step your right leg back, finding a lunge with the back knee down onto the mat. And here you're just going to allow your hips to sink down towards the ground. So my hands are either side of my front foot. But if you are maybe possibly pregnant, or if you just have a bigger upper body, maybe a bigger chest, you might want to bring your hands onto the inside of this front foot instead, because you might find you're actually getting a bit squashed if you have them either side of this foot. So find what works for you. If you do have them either side of your front foot, if you do have them on the inside of your front foot, make sure that knee then doesn't just fall out towards the side. It's still quite active and it's really tracking in to the outside of the body. So it's not just sitting out towards the outside of the mat, it's squeezing in towards the body. Going to hold this for another breath. And then here you're simply going to shift your hips back as you come up onto the heel of this front foot, drawing the toes back towards the face, so lengthening out through that front foot. So we're coming to a half splits position. Draw the toes back towards the body, especially the pinky toe. So it's not just the big toe that's drawing back, it's all of the toes. Your hands can be wherever you find easiest. You can have them a little bit closer towards you, maybe under your shoulders or far forwards. It's all good. You can hold this for another few breaths. It is a really good stretch. It's not very comfortable. Even if you're super flexible, this one isn't great. So we're all in this together. If you need to have a slight bend in that front knee, you can do if you're finding it way too intense. But wherever you are, draw your left hip back in space as you draw your right hip forward. So the hips are trying to be level, stay level with the top of the mat. Take another big breath in here. And then exhale, walk your hands forward, coming back to your lunge. And again, you can allow your hips to sink down towards the mat. Lovely. Another big breath in. Exhale. We are going to do that one more time. So walk the hands back, lengthening out through this front leg. Draw the toes back as you drive the heel forward. We're only going to hold this for a breath or two here, not as long as we did. Maybe sink your upper body down closer towards the ground. Woo, it feels good. Walk your hands forwards, and then you're going to tuck the back toe and then step the back leg forwards towards the top of the mat, coming to your forward fold. One side of your body, one leg might feel very different to the other. We're going to even ourselves out now. But first, give me a halfway lift. Inhale. And then exhale. This time you're going to step your left leg back into lunge. Ooh, place the back knee down onto the mat, untuck the toes. allowing the hips to sink down into this pose. Again, if you do need to have your hands onto the inside of this front leg, then it's all good. Just make sure that that knee doesn't track open. You're still active through this leg. Got another few breaths in this pose. We want to make it even. So we don't want to skimp out on one side. Everybody relax through the back of your neck. And then you're going to start to walk your hands back a little bit as you lengthen out through this front leg. Draw the toes back towards the face, draw the heel forward. You can have a little bend in this front leg if you need it. Relaxing through the shoulders, finding length through your spine as you hinge forwards. You're almost trying to bring your belly towards your thigh, your chest towards your foot or your shin. Your right hip is drawing forward in space as back in space as your left hip draws forward. So we're trying to square off the hips to the top of the mat. They're not opening out to the left side of the mat. Taking another big breath in. Can you sink a little bit lower? Ooh. Can you draw your toes back towards your face? Can you relax the muscles in your face? Take another breath in. Breath out. And then walk your hands forward, finding your lunge again. Sink your hips. Relax through the back of the neck. One more time, walk your hands back as you lengthen through that front leg, drawing your hips back towards your back foot, finding length through the spine. Got another big breath in here, draw the toes back towards the face. And then exhale, walk your hands forward again onto the inside of your foot or one either side of your foot, it's all good. Another few breaths here. Finding length through the hips. Another big breath in. And then coming up onto the toe of the back foot, we're going to step that foot through, into a forward fold. Hang heavy here in your forward fold. Find me a halfway lift. And this time as you exhale, you're going to bend your knees and come to sit on your bum. And then roll all the way back onto your back, bringing your knees into your chest. Ooh. That's a pretty intense little stretch there into our hamstrings, our legs, our hips. You can draw little circles around here with your knees one way and then the other if it feels good. If it doesn't, then just stay still. I'm going to find a happy baby pose. So soles of the feet are parallel with the ceiling, and you can either take a grip onto the inside of your of the back of your thighs if you like. Your knees are bent, soles of the feet parallel with the ceiling, or if you like you can take an outside or an inside grip on your feet, or maybe even grabbing hold of your ankles or calves, and you're trying to draw your knees to the outside edges of your body, maybe even towards your armpit. Soles of the feet stay parallel with the sky or the ceiling. Taking another big breath in here. And breath out. And draw your knees back into your chest. hug them in and just allow them to drop down towards the right hand side. And then reach your left hand out towards the side at shoulder height. Getting a nice little twist here. Your gaze can be towards your left hand if you like. If it doesn't feel good on the neck, just allow the gaze to fall wherever feels comfortable. We're going to inhale and come back to center, knees into the chest, and then straight over towards the other side, reaching the opposite hand out. Inhale, coming back to center, giving them one last squeeze in. Both knees, give them a hug. So coming to find your Shavasana. Pose that sits well in your body, whether that is with your legs out long, your feet and legs just falling open, or if you do prefer to have a bend in your knees, soles of the feet on the mat and just knock your knees together. Might feel a little bit nicer in your spine. Hands and arms just out by the side of you. And come in to focus in on your breath. Allowing your breath to guide your body into total relaxation. On each inhale, maybe noticing a part of your body that requires a little bit more attention in order for it to relax. Then as you exhale, focus deep relaxation into that area. Allowing the muscles to let go. Allowing the body to completely melt into the ground, into the mat below you. Releasing any tension in your forehead, by the creases of your eyes, your jaw, allow the tongue to just fall away from the roof of the mouth. And you can stay here for another few breaths, maybe another few minutes. You can finish your practice whenever you're ready. I hope to see you in class soon.